let's talk about Colorado at Arizona State. Colorado's favored by 4.5, coming off of 2 back-to-back losses against Oregon and USC. And I wanted to start it with this as a conversation, though. We know that people watch Coach Prime in Colorado. We know this because the numbers bear it out. 5 of the 8 most watched college football games this year feature Colorado. And Colorado is played on national television. They've got at least 7.24 million viewers, and they have peaked at 10 million. Those numbers are enormous in our sport. Now, the NFL, again, they'll thumb their nose at us because the Sunday afternoon game on Fox is about 25 million people watching it. And on Thanksgiving last year, when the Cowboys played, it was 49 million. But you get what I'm saying here, right? 10 million people watching Colorado football a year after they went 1-11 is a big deal. So you know that people are watching. You know that more people that could give a damn about the sport, except to say that we are a minor league and farm team for the NFL, now care about the sport. You've seen the celebrities on the sideline. And you've also seen Coach Prime getting some of that work in, right? Now he's letting everybody get at him, and he's also giving it back. Like I love how he's got something to say to the naysayers. At this point, I don't think there are people that are naysaying what Colorado can do. I think there are just people that are tired of hearing me talk about Colorado and tired of hearing him talk about Colorado, but y'all keep showing up to hear us talk about Colorado. So what lesson am I supposed to take from that? Okay. Other part is they're going to be great offensively, and they're going to be bad defensively. They're putting up 440 a game, but they're giving up 480 a game. They're going feast and they're going famine. Against Arizona State, I expect that to be the same thing. With no Jaden Rashada, probably leans more toward Colorado once again. But, I mean, they're putting up 357 through the air, right? But they're giving up 296 through the air. Shedeur Sanders is that dude. Got to show that once again against SC. They're down 41-14. They come back. They get close to tying it, put on a really great display. Shedeur's already thrown for 350 yards or more in 3 games. The record for anybody at Colorado in the same season is 5. Coy Detmer did that in 96. I mean, they also got to couple that with Old Dominion is the only team in FBS that's given up more sacks of its quarterback because they got Shedeur Sanders sacked 26 times. It's less about Colorado versus Arizona State, and it's more about what Colorado is going to do. And them being on the Pac-12 network ain't going to give many people an opportunity to see them at all because it's not on national TV. But I'm looking at this, and I want to talk about Amarion Miller, and I want to talk about Travis Hunter not playing for another 3 weeks, and I want to talk about the emergence of a number of players. Cormani McClain getting some game. Cameron Stillman-Craig out there absolutely playing well. They became the first defense to pick off Bo Nix and Caleb Williams this season, but I was led in a different direction as I was getting ready to write about this foxsports.com where you'll be able to read this piece, because I was having this conversation about, can Coach Prime win National Coach of the Year in year 1 at Colorado? And after the comeback win against Colorado State and they're 3-0, it's one that you really have to consider, right? Now they lose back-to-back games. Nobody's talking about Shedeur Sanders as a Heisman finalist anymore, and that's kind of cool, but he could still win National Coach of the Year honors, and that would be a big deal. Now, clearly, Prime doesn't care about winning anybody's National Coach of the Year. He does not care, okay? He also is very attuned to fair weather fans, right? He will tell you what his mama told him. Hey, the fan blows when you hot. You know what I'm saying? And so he's here nor there. He wants to do that he's coaching to succeed, and he wants his coaches to get jobs. But a great way of doing that is winning National Coach of the Year. Okay. Add to this that it's really difficult to win National Coach of the Year, especially in the Power 5. So since 2017, only one coach in the Power 5 has won the FWAA's Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award. That'd be Ed Orgeron, 2019. He needed to go 15-0 and win a national championship to do it. Everybody else was a G5 coach at the time. 2016 is Mike McIntyre, who turned around a 4-9 program in 2015 to 10-4 in 2016. But it's deeper than that, right? I reached out to our guy, Big Vic, and I learned that since 1990, which is far back as I chose to look, only 2 coaches have won National Coach of the Year for the FWAA's Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award with fewer than 10 wins. And it's been 9 in both cases. 2005, Charlie Weiss. I know people are like, really? What? In 1994, Rich Brooks, who made it to the Rose Bowl, lost to Penn State. That's it. So you got to get to 9 if you're Colorado. And it's going to be tough sledding to get to 9 if you're Colorado. 6, I think they can get to 6. They can get to 7. winning those extra 2 games is going to be difficult. And they're going to have to get through the next couple of weeks without Travis Hunter to give themselves a shot. Meaning you got to beat Arizona State and you got to beat Stanford and you got to get healthy in the bye week. All right. So that's part of it. Other part of it is I had to look at some of the competition. Who else could be in the running for National Coach of the Year? Well, as there are 22 undefeated teams, you could make a case for all 22 head coaches before you make a case for prime. Okay. Add to that, if Steve Sarkisian beats Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry, he skyrockets to the front of the list after how down Texas has been by Texas standards. That would be a huge win for him and put him in the catbird seat for the playoff and that honor. Same thing is true for Brent Venables, who would be 6-0 after going 6-7 last year with a win over a top 5 ranked Texas. But you keep going, you can get a little bit deeper than there. James Franklin at Penn State, 5-0. Mike Loxley at Maryland, I mentioned, 5-0. You keep going down this, and all of a sudden I looked and I said, damn, we could have a black head coach win National Coach of the Year, to which I asked, has a black coach ever won National Coach of the Year? No. So the AP, nor the Bear Bryant Award, nor the Football Writers Association Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year Award have never awarded that thing to a black head coach. James Franklin got close in 2012. He made the finalist list after winning 9 games at Vanderbilt for Bear Bryant's award. Still didn't give it to him. And I was thinking about me, surely Eddie Robinson won this award. No. The man whose name is on National Coach of the Year award never won National Coach of the Year. Now, this is a big deal. Maybe it's not a big deal to Prime, and maybe it's not a big deal to you, but it's damn sure a big deal to me. Because the sport is 54% black. And there are just 15 of 131 FBS posts as of December 18, 2022 that have black head coaches. It's really difficult to tell the story of college football without black players and black coaches. But the idea that we could go 154 years, or at least as long as the awards have been around, without awarding one to a black head coach feels something like from 1968, 1969, which 1969 is the last year that Texas became the last school to have an all-white team win a national championship in 1969. That's about where you would expect this statistic to land. So could Prime win it? Sure. But could a black coach win it? Absolutely. And one of the ways to make it more about football and less about race is to start acknowledging black excellence in such a way that it just becomes part of the game. Kind of like us talking about players. Nobody mentions that a player is black or white when we're talking about Heisman Trophy winners, because we have acknowledged and we've seen enough of each other to know that at least since integration in 1970, everybody can play. And everybody's got game. Why can't we do that in the coaching ranks? I think if we're going to have one, this is the year, because guys are winning football games. I'm talking about Marcus Freeman lost to Ohio State with 3 seconds left on the clock and could still win this thing by just running the table and making the playoff. We're getting closer to what could be a very cool inflection point for this sport. And as there aren't a lot of other black men in the position that I have dreamt about, and I get to live a dream every day, I hear my grandmommy in my ear going, you owe. You owe for the men and the women that sacrificed to put you in a position to do this. So I need to tell you that if there is an opportunity here, we must seize it. Football Writers Association, if you got an opportunity there, you see an undefeated Penn State, you see an undefeated Maryland, you see a 9-10 win Colorado, give it some thought. By the way, I vote for that award because I'm a member of the Football Writers Association. It's a very big deal. It's very important, and it's very moving. Because the last thing that I like to talk about when I go home is, RJ, they don't like us. Yes, they do. We just have to show them. And we do it. We do it. So if Prime wins Coach of the Year, awesome. Because it will be a first and it will be history making. And the more history made, the easier it becomes to talk about what we all want to talk about, which is football. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.